In mid-September, I did my longest canoe trip of the 2024 season. 8 days alone in the backcountry. With Elo, of course. I had some long portages ahead of me, and I planned on having very busy days on the water, documenting as many campsites as possible. The weather was fantastic the entire week, and the scenery, it was some of the best I've ever experienced in the park. My only regret was not bringing more food and booking a longer itinerary. Join me as I spend 8 days exploring the beautiful backcountry of Algonquin Park. On my first day, I only had one portage to tackle, but it was a 2-kilometer portage, and I double carry, which means it would be 6 kilometers of walking. Plus, I needed to get across Lake OPEONGO first, which would take 3 or 4 hours. Instead of draining all of my energy on the long paddle before even getting to the portage, I decided to take the OPEONGO water taxi instead. Elo clearly approved of the decision. It was around 10 degrees outside, but it felt so much colder with the frigid wind smashing against my face. Did I think about this and consider bundling up beforehand? Absolutely. Did I care to actually put on my jacket, toque, and gloves? No, I did not. Did I regret that decision? Most definitely. Am I weird for asking myself rhetorical questions? You betcha. First carry finished. I'm hot, I'm sweaty. I'm gonna take my sweatshirt off and go back for the rest of my gear. Doing my second carry. Got my pack on my back, my day pack on my stomach, and then Elo is attached to the day pack. Goodbye, portage. Now it's time to find a campsite. So we just got to our campsite for the night. I'm just doing a quick walk around, taking a look at the tent spots, the fire pit, make sure it's not too messy. I think it's going to be the best site on the lake for sure. So now I'm just going to unload my canoe and set up camp. Pretty perfect. I'm gonna go out for a paddle for an hour or so. So I'm gonna hang my food while I'm gone. And it was a good test of the hang before I do it overnight as well. I was lucky enough to have Red Rock Lake all to myself, so I circled the entire lake and paddled to every single campsite to document them for my website. It was a hot day outside, so when I got back to camp, I relaxed, processed some firewood, and had some dinner. wait, wait, wait. Stay. I usually like to document some campsites in the evening, but since I had finished the entire lake earlier in the day, I had no set agenda for my evening paddle. I watched the beautiful sunset and moonset from the water before heading back to camp to make an evening fire. So they say you get wiser as you get older. On the morning of day 2, I was technically older than the morning of day 1. So I learned from my mistake of not bundling up during the water taxi ride, and I actually put in the effort to wear my toucan gloves. I felt so wise. Even though I wasn't taking another water taxi, it was still a cold morning with single-digit temperatures. The sunrise on Red Rock Lake was one for the books. The entire sky was glowing a strong orange as the pink clouds whisked across its path. The view from the campsite provided a beautiful framing of the event. It's not often I get to witness a sunrise as beautiful as this one. It's the morning of day 2 right now. Plan for today is moving from Red Rock over 1 to Happy Isle, so it's a pretty easy day. It's a short paddle on Red Rock and then a 1.3 kilometer portage that we're going to double carry. Total, it's going to be about 2.5 to 3 hours of travel time. I know, good morning. Just packing up the tent. Elo is standing guard. Elo, come here, sit down. Okay, will you wait there for me, please? My paddle towards the portage was stunning. The water was dead calm, creating glass-like reflections. Every corner I turned provided another breathtaking view of the shoreline reflecting onto the lake. First and only portage of the day, the 1300. Alright, I'm gonna get loaded up with my barrel, camera gear, canoe, and Elo and do our first carry. Hey, slow, Elo. Gotta go slow on this one. Slow. Slow. Good girl. Good girl. Goodbye, portage. We're ready to launch and go find a campsite. I think we found our home for the night on a beautiful island campsite. Come on, let's go. Good girl. Oh, thank you. Really, you? So I'm back at the portage that I did earlier from Red Rock Lake. Are we doing the portage again? No, we don't want to do that. So what we did come here for is this. We did good, Elo. We got tons of wood. After collecting firewood, I decided to visit some campsites on Happy Isle Lake. I was able to document every campsite on Red Rock Lake, and my goal was to do the same for Happy Isle, as well as Merchant, later in the trip. Oh yeah, first bite. Cheese, chicken, mushroom. Can't go wrong. There was a short period of rainfall during the evening of day 2. I waited it out in the tent, and then went for a quick paddle and made a fire afterwards. I didn't do too much filming though, so this evening montage will be a short one. I enjoyed a slow morning with Ela while we were treated to another beautiful sunrise. The entire sky didn't light up with colors like the previous day on Red Rock Lake, but the sun itself looked magnificent. After the sunrise, we went back into the tent for a quick snooze. Whoa, you're fast, Elo. Come here. Sit. Down. Stay. Pretty high up. You're a good girl, Elo, okay? The cloudy morning turned into a hot, sunny day, so I decided to venture out for a day trip. I listened to the loons and visited some more campsites on the lake before coming back to my own campsite to relax. I've got all my firewood laid out, taking a suntan. I've got different piles, and it's all laid out. The sun is crossing this tree, so I'm hoping that as it goes in this path that this area will get sun for a while. So I found this coin yesterday. It was all black and like rusted looking, so I decided to restore it primitive style. I took it to the shoreline and just started scraping away at it with a small rock. This is how far I've gotten so far. Okay, so this is as far as I got. 1 cent, 1989, Canada. It's not as old as I thought it was. It's still older than I am. As usual, I went for an evening paddle after dinner. As I approached one of the campsites on the lake, I had a feeling I was about to be wowed. The Pebble Beach shoreline directly across from a little bay is a beautiful entrance to the campsite. The campsite itself was rather small, but the view to the south more than made up for it. I couldn't keep my eyes off of that breathtaking view. The moon was visible in the south narrows as well, adding to the already ridiculously pretty view. The loons were calling, the birds were singing, and the fish were flapping all over the place. It was so peaceful and serene in this secluded little section of Happy Isle Lake. This felt like wildlife territory. It felt like complete solitude from the rest of the lake. It felt special. During the paddle back to our campsite, Ela was resting her head on the thwart directly in front of me. Her face was looking in my direction with her chin propped up. She was watching me paddle while her eyes slowly closed as she drifted in and out of sleep. It really warmed my heart seeing Elo get so excited while we visit campsites and then become so comfortable by my side in the canoe. It's moments like this that I truly cherish, appreciate, and savor. My itinerary for day 4 was an easy one. I just needed to pack up camp, paddle across Happy Isle Lake, and take a short 300-meter portage into Merchant Lake. I had a slow-moving morning packing up camp while enjoying the pristine reflections of the shoreline onto the glass-like waters. I'm just about to pack up the tent. This beautiful view. And beautiful girl Elo. The beautiful sunrise. So this is what I do. This is my dry bag. I put my sleeping bag in. Put Elo's sleeping bag in. Put all my clothes in. Then I pack up my sleeping pad. And this blue bed sheet which catches all of the dirt from Elo. I bring it outside, shake it off. And then that's the final thing. So there's an order to do it to keep things clean. So I'm gonna get packing. All packed up and ready to go. This beautiful, beautiful morning. So the sign for the portage is hidden, but it's pretty easy to figure it out where it is. It's the one single red tree. This tree is just gorgeous. Second carry, pack, day pack, and I decided to put my sandals on the paddle so I can just change right into them. This is a nice introduction to the lake. There's two sides and both of them are equally as rocky and watery. I set off onto Merchant Lake at 10 a.m. I paddled to the two southeast campsites first, which were both available. They each had a few things that I liked, but also a few things that I didn't like. But neither of them felt like home. Sometimes you need to go with your gut, and my gut was telling me to keep moving. So, I headed towards the beach campsite on the distant northern shore. How does it look? Nah, I'm just kidding. This is the far end of the site. I just did a little walkthrough, make sure it was okay. So we're on a big beach on Merchant Lake. So the main site is really small, but for me it's perfect. I'm going to set up my tent right here. It's right beside the fire pit, which usually isn't good, but I think it's okay. And there's a trail there and a trail there, but the tent is just outside of the trail path. So this is the main site with the main beach access. Gorgeous view, gorgeous beach, perfect seating, just two big flat benches. Couldn't ask for anything better. The fire pit is small, which again for me, it's fine. I'm gonna just rearrange the rocks a little bit, but for someone solo with their dog, this is perfect. Got this kitchen counter, which again just for some gear. It's not the most sturdy, but it'll do. It's got some shelving units, some nails to hang stuff. Kind of unique contraption. Typically don't like seeing bushcraft at campsites. This one, at least I'll make use of it. Like 11:15, 11:30. I'm just gonna relax in the shade for a bit. It's a hot, hot day. It's like 30 degrees. As you can tell, there's no wind. It's a small fire pit from the campsite, but it has a really pretty view onto the lake. And I think I'm pretty organized for the evening. Literally the entire day has just been chasing shade. Just moving the chair. The chair is right there, because that's where I found shade. Beautiful day though. Just wish it was like 5 degrees colder maybe? Like 25 would be perfect. I made dinner and then set out for a long evening paddle to check out some campsites. When I got back to camp, Elo had her nose in the air and was sniffing as if she caught a scent of something. She was walking around extra curious for some reason too. I'm long past my paranoid days in the backcountry, but this got me slightly on edge. It was also around that time that I remembered it was Friday the 13th. Great. Elo settled down eventually, and so did I. Some quiet music and a few sips of whiskey definitely helped. don't you just hate when your neighbors have crazy loud sex while you're trying to sleep? I'm talking about the local Algonquin moose, of course. There was a strong case of merchant and chill happening in the early morning on the other side of the lake. The initial grunting felt like it vibrated the entire lake. It was probably the loudest sound I've ever heard an animal make. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if people on the neighboring lakes heard it too. The grunts continued sporadically for the next hour while I packed up camp, though slightly quieter. I didn't get my camera in time to record the loud grunts, but here's one of the quieter ones after they went inland. One final campsite check before I leave. Fire pit is clean. I left a ton of extra firewood. Here's where my tent was. All clean. My barrel was hanging over there. My gear was over here. All clean. I have no words to describe just how breathtaking the morning paddle was across Merchant Lake. The puffy clouds reflecting onto the waters were just... You know what? I'm just going to let you watch the next few minutes in peace. I did the short portage to get back into Happy Isle Lake, and then I went searching for a campsite, as the sun rose higher into the sky and the lake remained completely calm. I'm pretty sure there's like a glitch in our canoe trip. I got back to Happy Isle. The same two peninsula sites in the distance are occupied by the same people as when I left. The island site is free. So I pulled up and it is exactly how I left it. Fire pit looks nice and freshly raked clean, which is how I left it. Everything is exactly how I left it. So obviously it went unoccupied last night. So it's kind of just like a glitch in the canoe trip. Like I left for a night, I went to Merchant, documented all the campsites, camped out on the little beach, and then I'm back. Like nothing changed, nothing happened. So I've got one more night here. before I need to tackle the big 2.2 kilometer portage into OPEONGO. So I'm going to rest, I'm going to eat a lot of food, and I'm going to enjoy the day. So gorgeous. I can't get over it. There's been like no wind. It's just been like glass reflective waters the entire day. I've just been sitting doing nothing, just staring out onto the water for the past like 3-4 hours. It's so pretty. Bugs are out tonight. The numbers are growing. They're taking over the island. They're gonna eat us for dinner. There's so many of them. This is crazy. After dinner, I went for another evening paddle. I saw the sun setting in the distance, the moon rising in the opposite direction, and a few loons swimming nearby. I found my chill spot. I wasn't paddling much, so the loons became comfortable with my presence, and they began popping up very close to my canoe. went back to my campsite afterwards and got a fire going. I had plenty of wood, and I planned on putting it to good use while I ate as many calories as I could. I needed to prepare for the long portage the next day, both in terms of giving myself energy, while also reducing the weight of the food barrel. I went to bed at 10:30 p.m. underneath the bright light of the near full moon hanging in the sky. Good morning, day 6. I'm going to pack up camp and try and be on the water by 8 o'clock. I've got a 30 to 45 minute paddle to the portage, and then I'm double carrying the 2.2 kilometers, so that's going to be, probably 2 hours. And then I need to find a campsite on OPEONGO. One final check of the campsite, sure everything's clean, fire pit in good condition. So I think everything's clean. Everything's ready to go. Just doing my first carry with the portage. A little bit of leaf fall already. Good girl, Elo. You're doing great, Elo. Good job. So I think we found our home for the night. So this is the landing. Nice big beach landing that faces east. As the sun goes to the west shore, it's going to brighten up the east shore, which will be really nice. So that's the front of the site. The fire pit is right at the front and overlooks the beautiful view. I like that this is going to be shaded as the sun continues to go to the west, which will be nice because it's 30 degrees today, so I don't mind shade on a day like today. Following the shoreline around the peninsula, there's this little trail which leads to one tent spot option, and I'm probably going to take this. It's secluded. It has a beautiful view out, which means we'll be able to wake up and see the colors of the sunrise. Here's another tent spot option. Here's another tent spot option. It's a pretty great site. I'm happy to call it home for 2 nights. This is my utensil bag. I have toothbrush, toothpaste, lip balm, stuff like that. Here's one garbage bag, another garbage bag. So I've got a whole lot of calories in the form of cashews and peanuts. I've got 4 portions of cereal left. Got a lot of cereal that I can eat. Some caffeine chocolate. Helps me get through those long portages, and I'll definitely be having a couple of these before I paddle OPEONGO. I got RX bars, so first time eating them, and I really like them. I'm a big fan. Got a very little bit of whiskey left, so I'm going to enjoy this tonight. 3 marshmallows left. Some pre-portioned banana bread. 2 slices per day for the 8 days. A couple Kirkland protein bars. I've got enough Elo food. This would be tomorrow. This would be the final day, and then this would be dinner tonight. A couple multivitamins. I brought 1 per day. 1 more flat out feasts meal. 1 Alpine Air meal. And 1 backup meal, just because it's always good to have a few extra calories. I have a couple pieces of chocolate left. 2 more Lara bars. And then I finished my bagels this morning. So this is my backup breakfast for the last few days. A couple bear paws. And that's it. This is what remains. That should be good. Elo, you're a good girl. Elo, you did a great job today, okay? I'm really proud of you. You did really good on the portages, Elo. Elo, that was like 6.5 kilometers that you did. You did really, really good, Elo. Get your drool all over me, I don't mind. Good girl, Elo. Oh my, look at that. Oh, oh. Elo, that's disgusting. Oh my gosh, Elo. That is so gross. You're such a good girl. As I sat in my chair facing the expanse of Lake OPEONGO, staring out onto the massive open body of water with islands scattering the landscape, it hit me. A sense of accomplishment and happiness that's difficult to describe. A feeling that I'm not sure I've ever had on such a busy lake with motorboats zipping by. But I felt really good, really happy. Afterwards, I went for a paddle to check out some of the nearby campsites on Lake OPEONGO's north arm. It was too gorgeous of a day not to be on the water. I just went to the portage to collect some wood, and I think I did an okay job. This has got to be like 200 pounds of wood here. Whoever's camping at this site after me is gonna have a nice pile of leftover wood for them. Hey, wait, this isn't Algonquin. But don't skip, this isn't an ad. Well, kind of. I just want to take 20 seconds to tell you that if you're planning a trip to Algonquin Park, you have to check out my website, Algonquin and Beyond. There are more than 50 extremely detailed trip reports, along with super helpful resources like this complete guide to renting canoes, or this article with everything you need to know about bears in the park. Become a member and get access to more than 750 backcountry campsite reports, along with 360-degree video tours of every campground, including individual campsites. Plus, members get an automatic 10% discount at the online shop, where you can grab some sweet merch and framed photo prints. Alright, now let's get back to the video. I just turned the corner and saw the full moon rising. Oh my god. What a sight. My paddle back to camp took twice as long as it should have, because I kept stopping to stare at the moon. As the light continued to fade, the glow of the moon only grew stronger. The moon was directly within view as I arrived back to my campsite and began unloading the copious amounts of firewood that I collected. It was shimmering across the lake and provided tons of light. In case it's not obvious, I was completely obsessed with the moonrise that evening. I'm inside the tent right now, and this is my view. Morning from day 7. The view out of this campsite is just spectacular. Sit. Take it. I got on the water at 7:30 a.m. and headed towards Hailstorm Creek. The water was calm, and the motorboats, well, they hadn't begun gracing the water with their presence yet. Hailstorm Creek was very pretty, with lots of varied scenery throughout. I didn't see any large wildlife, but I did see a few birds and a few busy beavers. So I found this spot deep in the creek that provides good shore access. So it was a great place to stop and pee. I walked to the top, really awesome view over this massive opening. It's a nice little spot to pull over for a few minutes. And now we're going to turn around and head back. We've been gone for like 2 hours already. Hey, you having fun? I stopped to check out a few more campsites on my way back to my own campsite. Hailstorm Creek is a popular wildlife destination, so I was particularly curious what the nearby campsites look like. I'm just filling my water, but Elo doesn't like when I'm gone. I just found out that this campsite also has its own private little beach that faces west. So this is just like the cherry on top of an already incredible sight. It'd be great for swimming. The sun is setting that way, so we can go get the sunset, stargazing. Like, this really is the cherry on top of a spectacular campsite. Pretty awesome, Elo, isn't it? My last full day of the trip was another gorgeous one. The sun was in the sky, the wind was gently blowing, and the views out of my campsite were spectacular. I spent most of the afternoon relaxing at the campsite before heading out for my final evening paddle. My paddle back to my campsite was accompanied by loons following close to my canoe. The sunset colors were behind me, and the full moon began rising in front of me. I'm sure you remember how obsessed I was with the moonrise on night 6. Well, on night 7, it was even better. It was glowing brighter and shimmering across the lake even stronger. I really can't overstate just how incredible my campsite was for the viewing. The opening at the shoreline is so massive, and the moon was rising directly in view. I watched the moon rise higher into the sky, staying perfectly in my view the entire time. It was a really special way to end the trip. I woke up to yet another beautiful sunrise to end the trip. I got out of the tent a bit earlier than usual so that I could pack up camp and get on the water as early as possible. Crossing Lake OPEONGO should take around 3 or 4 hours, but I knew it would take me longer with the extra weight of Elo in my boat, plus any breaks that I needed to take with her. The perk of waking up early was getting to watch the entire sunrise from my wide open campsite while packing up camp. I swear, this clip was completely unintentional, but the immature child in me finds it way too funny to not include in this video. Okay, let's say goodbye to our final campsite. Alright, let's get started. Elo. I was extremely lucky that there was practically no wind in the forecast. Lake OPEONGO was infamous for its choppy waters, and paddling solo comes with extra risk. Despite the forecast being in my favor, I decided to get on the water as early as possible, just to be safe. I left my campsite shortly after 7:30 a.m. There is very little wind on the lake. No water taxis, no occupied campsites in the nearby distance. The vast expanse of Lake OPEONGO's north arm was all mine. The rest of the paddle through Lake OPEONGO was rather uneventful. The sun was getting hotter and I was getting more tired, but everything was still tolerable. I arrived back to my car at 11:30, exactly 4 hours after leaving my campsite. The trip had finally come to an end. Thanks for following along for the journey. If you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like, comment, or share. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you want to read the full written trip report for this video, I'll leave a link in the video description below.